The auditorium was silent. The only light left was from the soft glow of the screen behind, which played the first footage of Outlander, when Jamie Fraser, the Scottish warrior, first appeared in the misty forest. And in the front row, Sam Heughan, who had lived the character for more than 10 years, was quietly wiping away tears. "That's it," he said softly, his voice choking. No one in the audience could contain their emotions. In that moment, everyone realized, the most beautiful chapter in Sam's career, and in the hearts of millions of fans, had officially ended. Sam Heughan is not just the person who plays Jamie Fraser. He is Jamie Fraser, in every breath, every look, every smile, and every tear. Since the first day of Outlander in 2014, Sam has turned that character into a legend, a symbol of love, loyalty, and timeless strength. But few people know that behind that halo are years of challenges. Sam once said, "There were days when I woke up in the middle of a cold Scottish winter, looking around and seeing only frost and snow. I asked myself, how much longer can I continue doing this?" But he still stood firm. Because he knew, Outlander was more than just a movie. It was his family. It was part of him. Before the final episode was filmed, the atmosphere in the crew was filled with emotion. Everyone knew, this would be the last time they saw Sam in a kilt, the last time they heard him say, "Sassenach," in his deep voice. Katrina Balfe, who had accompanied him all the way, walked up and hugged him tightly. "Are you okay, Sam?" she asked, her voice trembling. Sam smiled, but his eyes were red. "I thought it was okay, but it's not, Kate. How can you be okay when you have to say goodbye to a part of your soul?" Katrina couldn't hold back her tears either. She knew the bond between Sam and Jamie was so deep that it was hard to separate. Over the past 10 years, the line between his character and his real self seemed to have merged. In the final scene, Jamie and Claire walked together in the misty dawn, a symbol of a new beginning. When the director shouted, "Cut!" Sam stood still, not saying a word. He looked around the set, his eyes stopping at each familiar face. The crew, his co-stars, the technicians, the people who had been with him through many sunny and rainy seasons of Outlander. Then he bowed deeply. No one applauded. They just looked at him, in silence, a respectful silence, like the way people bid farewell to a legend. Later, at the farewell press conference, Sam choked up and said, "Jamie taught me so much, about courage, love, and sacrifice. I don't think I'll ever see a character like that again. It's hard to describe, it's like losing a close friend." When asked what touched him most, Sam didn't hesitate. "It's the fans. They've been with us since day one. There are people who tell me that Jamie and Claire helped them believe in love again, that the show saved them from loneliness. How can I say goodbye to that?" He paused, took a deep breath, and said softly, "But even though I say goodbye, I know Jamie will always live in my heart, and in the hearts of everyone here." Katrina Balfe also wrote a letter to Sam, which she shared on social media after the final shoot. "Dear Sam, we have grown up together with Outlander. You are not just Jamie Fraser, you are the heart of this show. Thank you, for everything you have given, not just to me but to millions of people around the world." Under the post, thousands of comments appeared, full of thanks and tears. One person wrote, "Jamie Fraser is more than just a character. He is a symbol of courage and undying love. Thanks to Sam, we can believe in that." A few days later, Sam posted on his personal page the last photo of him dressed as Jamie, standing in the Scottish Highlands, with a fiery red sunset in the background. The caption was short but enough to make millions of people cry, "Goodbye, Jamie. You changed my life forever." He ended that journey with all respect, no regrets, no resentment, just a gentle, grateful farewell. Now, with Outlander just a memory, Sam Heughan continues his acting career, but somewhere in his eyes, people still recognize the shadow of Jamie Fraser, the man who defined a decade of his life. "Maybe I will never really say goodbye," Sam once said, his voice sad. Because Jamie, and everyone who loved him, will always live in me, forever. And so, in the cold wind of the Scottish Highlands, the shadow of Jamie Fraser gradually faded into the mist. But in the hearts of fans, he, and Sam Heughan, will forever be a symbol of eternal love, of loyalty and unfailing faith. After that emotional farewell, Sam Heughan left the set with red eyes. He walked slowly through the Scottish Highlands, which had been the setting for countless legendary scenes. The mist-covered hills, the wind whistling through the leaves, all seemed to whisper goodbye to the man he had been with for 10 years. It felt like everything was still there, Jamie, Claire, and the story never ended, Sam shared in a behind-the-scenes interview. But then I realized, I wasn't losing Jamie. I was just learning to live without him. For Sam, Outlander was more than just a show, it was a journey of growth, a milestone that shaped who he was. He came to the project as a young, unknown actor. Now, he leaves as a global star, but what makes him most proud is the sincere affection the audience has shown for Jamie Fraser. Letters, gifts, and countless messages poured into his inbox. Some said Outlander had helped them get over their loss. Others said Jamie and Claire's story made them believe in love again. Sam read each line, tears welling up in his eyes. I realized that when I cried for Jamie, I was also crying for all the real emotions we shared, me, Katrina, the crew, and fans around the world. We lived the story together. In the days that followed, Sam spent a lot of time alone. He walked around the filming locations, Lollybrook, Craw na Dun, the Valley of Glencoe. Each place was associated with indelible memories. He recounted that when he arrived at Craw na Dun, the legendary place where Claire traveled back in time, he stood for a long time in front of the ancient stones. The wind blew, the grass rustled, and he heard Jamie's voice echoing from somewhere. Our love transcends time, Sassenach. I cried, not out of sadness, but out of gratitude. I felt so lucky to have been Jamie, even for a part of my life. Meanwhile, Katrina Balfe was equally moved. She shared in a separate interview. I saw Sam live with Jamie every day, the look in his eyes, the way he walked, even the way he cared for people. When he said, "That's it," I knew he wasn't just saying goodbye to a role, but to a part of his heart. Katrina said that, in the final scene, she and Sam were speechless. They just stood looking at each other, in silence, and smiled through their tears. We've gone too far together. Maybe a part of Jamie and Claire will always live in us, it can't be lost. A week later, Sam returned to London. He attended a special screening of the final episode of Outlander. When Jamie's last look at Claire appeared on screen, the theater fell silent. Sam sat silently, his hands clenched. Then, when the words, "the end," appeared, he burst into tears. No longer an actor, no longer a star. Just Sam, a normal man, learning to let go of the character he had spent half his life with. After the screening, he walked up to the stage, his voice hoarse. "Thank you everyone for loving Jamie Fraser. He wasn't perfect, but he was brave and honest. I hope, somewhere, he's smiling knowing he was loved so much." The audience stood up and applauded. Sam bowed his head, tears falling naturally as a final thank you. In the months that followed, Sam began a new project, but he always carried one thing with him: a piece of tartan from Jamie's costume. He called it, a piece of the Scottish soul, and a piece of his own soul. He still smiles when he remembers. I lived, loved, fought like Jamie. And though his journey ended, mine continues, with the heart of a Scot, forever unyielding. Fans often say that Sam and Jamie are strangely similar, both strong, sincere and deep. But perhaps what binds them together is not just their similarities, but their belief that love and loyalty will always exist, no matter how the world changes. When asked if he would ever return to play Jamie if given the chance, Sam simply smiled. "I don't know. But if there was an actual time portal, I would go back, just to tell Jamie, thank you, for letting me live the best 10 years of your life for you. Quote.